Starfield looking good, guys. Starfield looking good. It's looking impressive. Now, obviously, I'm a fan of Starfield. I got the Starfield Stream Deck. I got the Starfield headset. I got the controller. I even have the skin that goes around the Xbox. Man, I'm 100% in when it comes to Starfield. You know, I've always enjoyed what I played of it. Was there certain things that, I felt like they could have improved? Yeah. And one of the things we're going to go into that I like about Shattered Space, we're going to go into that. I always was one of those people that's just like Skyrim in space. And they, for the most part, they got that 100% with me, man. Now let's talk about Shattered Space. Shattered Space is coming out September the 30th. It's one of the most, anticipated DLCs I have played in the longest time. Mainly I don't go back to DLCs. I don't go back to games for DLCs. Generally, once I play that game once and I complete that game, it's going to take a miracle for me to go back to the game. How many of you guys are that way? I'm kind of curious. Put in the comment section below. How many of you don't go back to games for DLCs? I'm not the biggest fan of going back to games for DLCs. Ironically, the games that I do go back to them for DLCs is Bethesda's games. I consider expansions and DLCs different. Now, I understand, technically they're the same, but I feel like an expansion is like a sizable amount of content, and it's worth going back to, and DLC is just what you get. That's just my opinion. Now, obviously, they're the same thing, but to me, you use terms like expansion, you might get me to come back a little bit faster than, a DLC. Downloadable content. Shattered Space, one of the things that I really enjoyed about what I saw about this game is it's going to be some handcrafted worlds. I wasn't a big fan of the big scaling that Bethesda did on Starfield. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit too much. Maybe I'm overreacting, some of you would say in the comment section below. I did not like the scale of planets. Thousands of planets. What were they called? That procedurally generated worlds. I know a lot of people that enjoyed that, but to me, I would have preferred 10 handcrafted worlds with really in-depth story off those 10 handcrafted worlds, and then you generate the planets outside of that. That's what I would have preferred. You still have the same thing, but the problem that you have when it comes to something like this is I feel like they wanted so much freedom that they sacrificed some of the narrative in its place. Now, I see it's with stuff like Zelda, Pokemon, they've done it here recently. They're making these games more open-ended to where you're narrating your adventure. And I don't like stuff like that. I want the developers to be able to tell an immersive story, and to me that involves preset planets. That involves planets that aren't going to change no matter how many times you play the playthrough. Does that mean they had to do the whole game that way? No. Like I said, you could have made the story and then made all the pre-generated worlds around the story where, you need this particular maybe element or a quest item. They could have made that in a random world. Because to me, especially at the time, because keep in mind, they didn't have a city map. They didn't have a like a little ship that you could drive around in on the planets at launch. So to me, there wasn't a lot of point in exploring these, abandoned planets. Now, were they all abandoned? No, they had some unique concepts to them. Like I remember like bandit, encampments. That there was a lot to do in this game, but the problem is I felt like a lot of it didn't make a lot of sense to do. I enjoyed the space battle of it for the most part. Now, when it comes to Shattered Space, they're going in their bag a little bit. They have a whole new location, handcrafted. Kind of gave me a little bit of a horror vibe. Like it's gonna be one of those scenarios where you walk in, you don't know what's going on, and you're gonna uncover all the variables that's happening in the story. I enjoy that. But what I enjoy about Shattered Space is I didn't play any of the the updates, the hub updates, the new car that you're going to be driving around in the world. I didn't do any of that. So I'm going to come back into Shattered Space with all access to that. It's going to be pretty much a damn brand new game. And plus, there's mod support on the Xbox now. We're going to have to look through that and find out what good mods that we can jump in. Put in the comment section below what are good mods. What good mods, man? Guys got to help me. But to me, Shattered Space is going to be essentially a brand new game to me. I remember rolling around in the cities in Starfield not knowing where everything was. But Bethesda fixed that. They fixed a lot of aspects of Starfield that I was disappointed with. But I knew if I went and I downloaded it, including 60 frames. Starfield wasn't 60 frames on console at launch, and now it is. So I'm sitting here looking at this, and I'm like, if I go back and I play this just because they made some, very good quality of life updates, and they did the 60 frames patch, I feel like it would be better for me if I just hold on until the Shattered Space expansion, because then at that point, it's like in taking all of it. I'm taking the quality of life updates. I'm taking Shattered Space, kind of like what happened with Cyberpunk. They did a variety of updates on Cyberpunk. So when you came back, if you were there only for launch, it's like a completely different game. I think Shattered Space is going to do well, guys. I do. I think Bethesda's in their bag. Now, obviously, it's just, the elephant in the room. Starfield, I believe, was a victim of gamer hype, media hype, just about any hype you could think of. Starfield came out there, it hit good for what it was, but I will agree that it was underwhelming in a lot of aspects of the game. It does look like they listened to the feedback, especially with the quality of life updates where you can adjust how the weight is on you, which was ridiculous to some degree when I was playing the original Starfield. It's going to be interesting, man. I believe Starfield is going to, in the next couple years, be considered like a game that people just enjoy playing. People are going to be being less hard on this game in the future. I do. I think that. I hope so, because I enjoyed the franchise. I do. I think Starfield's got a good future ahead of itself. Most likely, they will support this game for the foreseeable future. I do see with mod support on top of that, you're going to see a different Starfield in a couple years. But put in the comment section below, man. I'm very curious to your guys' opinion on this. Do you think Starfield, Shattered Space, I believe it's going to be a completely new experience. Look, there's so much new content. There's so much quality life updates. That's what I believe. It's going to be a new experience. But I'm very curious to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section below. Also, I want another thing. If you guys enjoyed this video, definitely hit the like button. It's always appreciated. You can always sub to the channel. We make weekly content on here. We talk about games. We review stuff. We talk about, reviewing the games themselves. We talk about the practices in the industry. We talk about everything. A lot of news on this channel, so definitely sub if you guys enjoyed any of that. If you want to follow me on Twitter at Lord Addict IOP, all that's in the description below, along with the Addict Arena. It's just a streaming channel where I go over all the latest gaming news, and we stream games while we do it. We just have a good little community time over there. I'm very, very interested to see you guys over there. But I appreciate all the support you guys have been giving me. And until next time, this is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace. I told you, man. Starfield gonna be good. I'm gonna be streaming that on the Addict Arena, so definitely check into that.